Alright, so point two that came from talking with the libtard. Um, One of the things that this was all predicating around was, basically the push that comes around every so often from libtard progressive America that they somehow love the people, and so they just need to raise taxes. It's like, oh, well, we just need to raise the cap on Social Security, and then it'll be good, and. Okay, and this is where you'll start being called heartless and a fascist, and well, clearly you don't, the whole straw man and false dilemma, because you see a problem with this plan that clearly you don't care about people. Okay, the reality is I would love Social Security not to go bankrupt because far too many people depend on it. I wish they didn't. Like I said, my solution is teach people not to be dependent on the state. But at this time, far too many people are dependent on it. Far too many people literally did not save for old age. So if they don't have Social Security, they're going to have nothing. But I also know my history. And that's where I become an inconvenience to libtards. Because here's the facts. Originally, Social Security was in a lockbox. It was this whole separate thing where basically they took it out of everybody's paycheck. It was basically a state pension. Everybody paid into Social Security. And Social Security funds were for use for nothing else but the pension. Then the Democrats had a brilliant accounting idea under Lyndon Baines Johnson. They wanted a great welfare nation, and they wanted to fight a war on poverty, and they basically wanted to give away a lot of taxpayer money. Now, if the government just suddenly started giving away a lot of money without raising taxes, what would have happened is the deficits would have grown like crazy. But there's an accounting gimmick we can do. We're providing for the general welfare, and there's all this money in Social Security. I have a brilliant idea. This is money we're not going to spend for 10, 15, 20 years. This is money that is to pay people tomorrow. So what we'll do is we'll steal all the money that's supposed to pay tomorrow, and we'll take it over here and we'll merge it into the general fund today. So that every dollar we spend today is a surplus in exchange for deficit dollars tomorrow. Spend $1 today. Oh, another dollar tomorrow. $1 today, $1 tomorrow, and we'll do this for decades. And we'll have a general fund. And what could possibly go wrong? Roll the clock forward to modern times. Social Security is in danger of going bankrupt. It is not solvent. Somewhere between 2020 and 2060, it will go. So the solution the liberals have is, well, we'll just tax more. We'll steal from this generation to put the money back that we stole from the last generation. Here's the problem. They've already stole the money once. So the way I see this is like the person who comes to you and go, man, my rent's due next week. I'm $100 short. So you give them the $100. Then tomorrow they come to you and go, man, my rent's due at the end of the month. I bought $150 worth of stuff. I need $200. Yeah. Oh, and there's another $50 in bills I forgot about. So I'm $200 short to pay my rent. Can I have $200? Don't do it again. Oh, man. The TV was on sale. It was buy one, get one. You know, it's like a $7,000 TV, but I got it for $500. By the way, I'm $500 short to pay my rent. Can I have $500? How many times do you do this? How many times do you give that person money? How many times do we give the liberals money to bail them out of money they misappropriated, that they didn't spend on the people like they were supposed to spend on the people? How many times do we raise the taxes? Do we take more from the people of today because they couldn't honor their obligation of fiscal responsibility to the people of yesterday? Now, in principle, in general, I'm a moderate. I actually do agree that taxes in the United States should probably go up a little bit. Personally, I lean more towards a flat tax model, but if we would adapt a flat tax model for our general welfare spending, you know, basically as a nation we decide what services government should provide to the people. And we did the math, and we looked at the CBO data, and the IRS data, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics data, and the census data, and with the margin of error, we ran everything through, and we said, okay, that's X% of the pie. And so we passed a flat tax on the people, the government services tax or whatever, and, you know, just we threw the whole current system out, and we just, you know, basically either had a national sales tax or a flat income tax, or, you know, so on, or a combination thereof, but it was based on the actual math. You know, hi, the government wants to spend this much, the people have this much, and these numbers are certain ratios of each other, therefore we must tax the people this much. And if that's a bigger number, it's a bigger number. But it's what it costs to fund our government and not run our nation into the ground. So I'm very analytical when it comes to that. Just do the math and tax. And have an adult conversation as a nation about what it should be. But on the same token, if we're going to refuse to do that, no new taxes. None. There will not be one tax raise. I'm not arguing for tax cuts. I'm just saying, stop. Stop. Y'all aren't spending the money like you're supposed to. It's the people's money, not the government's money. If you want the people to give it to you, honor the goddamn contract. If you're not going to honor the contract anywhere else, we'd tell you bugger off. You don't keep buying from the store that sells you sour milk. You don't keep buying the brand that poisons you. But when it comes to government, we give them money to do something. They spend it on something else. They go, oh, we need more money. Or they lie to us. You know, they say, hi, it's going to cost this much, but no, we're really going to, it's going to cost $1, but we're going to charge you 25 cents. Oh, we're short 75 cents. Can we have another quarter? We're short 50 cents. Can we have another quarter? Now so much time has gone on, it's actually going to cost $2. Can we have another $1? We're still short. You know, that's literally how the government, what we charge for tax and what we promise to give works in the United States. Okay, stop the lies, stop the overpromising, stop the political campaign versus the reality of the math. Stop. And put some goddamn constitutional amendments in there that say, no Congress, bad, bad. That's not your money, that's the people's money. That's the people's debt, that's the next generation's liability. Bad Congress. When we can set all of that up, then we can have the conversation about raising the taxes. And I know the liberals think that's a heartless thing, but it's called we don't want to have this conversation for the next 50 years. Let's bite the goddamn bullet, fix the goddamn problem, never fucking steal from the people again, so that my generation, the one that has to fucking bite the bullet for all this shit, is the last generation of Americans that has to. I do not want to bail my ass out and basically shiest my kids like my generation's getting shysted. I don't want to do it. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. It has to stop. And that's, the other damn point. Because there's all this assumption. And it's, oh my God, basic math. At some point, if you're trying to have this conversation with a libtard and a progressitard, they'll bring up, we spend so much on defense. All right, let me put a number on that. In any given year, the United States spends between $500 billion and $1 trillion on defense. In a few exceptions, there's the odd year, but on average, over a 5-10 year period of time, that number is consistently right now between $500 billion and $1 trillion. The crap that you're arguing for costs $2.5 trillion plus. In some cases, $5 trillion plus a year. Only in libtard America does stopping spending $500 billion magically pay for $5 trillion of spending. Somehow, stopping spending on war suddenly makes the money worth 10 times as much? What? How? Can you express that in a mathematical equation? Can you make that make sense? These ad populums that directly contradict the facts and numbers of the reality of the U.S. economy, how taxes are collected, and how the government works, and what the government actually spends on what. They have to be reality-based, not ad populum-based. Reality, the actual numbers. There was another point, but I think I already did a video on the whole liberal definition of racism and all the bullshit. But, hey, because I actually give a shit about this shit, I'm a fascist. I'm actually starting to like being called a fascist. If being a fascist is giving a shit about people's rights, the unintended consequences of choices to others, and myself, and my kids, and actually wanting to solve a problem rather than get on a goddamn moral high house and go, oh yeah, I care about people so much I can't bother to sit down and do grade school math to see if there's any chance in hell this will actually help anyone. Or bother to learn from history so we don't do the same stupid shit again. If that's what being a fascist is today, count me in. Alright? Oh, and for all of you libtards who are going to go in here and go, whoa, blah, 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 Trump, manga, blah, 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 blah. Other than right then, when did I ever say anything about Trump? When did I say anything about manga? When at any point did I say the Democrats have lost their goddamn mind? When did I actually say anything about the Republicans? Stop that. Stop the false dilemma of pointing out you're full of shit equals blind admiration for the other insanity. Stop.